Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. How about a recap and an update on one of my favorite doll characters? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Henry Brogan. If you have followed my doll stories over on Dollstagram, you will know this character very well. Henry's character bio reads, age 39, birthday April 8th, occupation artist, actor, musician, DJ, philanthropist, relationship status. It's complicated. Family includes Marnie Brogan, mother. Father wishes to remain anonymous, and his hobbies are boating. Now, as most of you know, I pretty much picked the dates of the dolls' birth dates based on the first day they appear on my Dollstagram page. And as you can see here, he appeared on April 8th, 2020. So that's his birthday. According to sunsigns.org, people born on April 8th are motivated, compassionate, aggressive, utopian, loyal, strong, and constructive. This says Henry all over it. So I took a look in my BDT resident directory and I realized I didn't do a family tree for Henry. Just add that to the list of other things I have to get done. The one thing I did get done was take pictures of Henry and his mother, Marnie. Henry is very protective of his mother, Marnie. He knows that she has an illness that he has to work through daily, but there isn't much said about his father. Apparently, when Henry was born, there was no father marked down on the birth certificate. Now, I did go back into my Dollstagram storyline and found this one picture of the back of Henry's father's head when there was a phone call made from Henry to his father talking about his mother escaping from the retirement home. Needless to say, the conversation did not go well, and Henry and his father never spoke again. Even with that kind of upbringing, Henry actually turned out to be a pretty decent guy. He quickly became a fan favorite, and you would often see him pop up in other people's doll stories. Henry's storyline was that he was invited to the BDT by Abel, a music industry colleague of his, who needed help getting a new artist group off the ground. Abel failed to mention that this new girl group was a little rusty, and he really had his work cut out for him to get this group going, but he did, and it worked out great. Henry is forever indebted to Abel because Abel was the one that hired Skylar Blue to be his assistant. Skylar was the epitome of a celebrity assistant. She handled everything for Henry, from his financials to his bookings. She even hired a cleaning staff to come in once a week to take care of his loft. These two were so often seen out together that people started to ask if they were an actual couple. Skylar wants to make things very clear that she does not poop where she eats, and therefore, Henry is her boss. They are not a couple. Henry and Skylar had such a good work relationship that she would often help him with his social media presence. Here's a video they made a while ago.
Damn, your girl so fine, but her breath is like whoa. She say she wanna dance, but she don't know how to whoa. I'm iced out, ooh, looking like a star. Whoa. Her name is Jenny, ooh, bitch don't have no panties. Whoa. I'm Steph Curry when I hit the.
Okay, now that we've laid the foundation, let's do a recap. Okay, so the first time that Skylar actually met Henry's mother was a little weird because she had escaped from her retirement home, and Henry never told anybody that his mother actually suffered from dementia. So there was a whole silver alert out, and it was like crazy all over the doll town looking for this woman. She was eventually found in his loft apartment, cutting his wallpaper from his wall. He did not want anybody to know about it, especially the paparazzi, because he knew they would exploit his mother. So therefore, he built her own loft in his own loft apartment suites right upstairs from him so that he could have a live-in home instead senior care representative work with her 24 hours a day. He even installed a elevator just for her to be able to get up and down from her loft to his. One thing about Henry, he loves his mama, and better not nobody say nothing bad about her, regardless of her dementia. Now, Henry himself has some very notable accomplishments and accolades. For example, in the music industry, he had 12 top charted albums. He only DJs for high-end clientele. Take a look at a couple of gigs he did recently.
You can touch, you can play, if you say I'm always yours. I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. That's plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere. Imagination, life is your creation.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Yeah.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Even in the TV show industry, he was on a mermaid event called He Came by Sea Just to Save Me. In this TV show series, he played a record executive who fell in love with a mermaid that he found on a lifeboat somewhere out in the sea. It was a weird storyline because the mermaid was only interested in him for one thing. Yeah, she wanted to impregnate him with her mermaid eggs. Weird, I know. But it was a great TV show, lasted for 3 seasons. Another TV show that Henry did was Disney's Next Top Model, where he performed as a judge, helping the princesses find proper outfits, sing proper songs to wow the other judges. Here's a clip from one of his guest appearances.
I'm mad at Disney, they tricked me, had me wishing on a shooting star. But now I'm 20 something, I still know nothing about who I am or what I'm not. So call me a pessimist, but I don't believe in it. Finding a true love kiss is bullshit, 'cause I felt sad love.
Henry also starred in a hit movie saga called Ashtam. Here are a few movie clips from that saga. In the Ashtam saga, Henry played a rogue military agent who ran away because of the loss of his wife, who in fact was not lost but left on a planet in outer space. Here's another segment of that movie saga. If you or your dolls and action figures are interested in watching this entire Ashtam saga from the beginning, Feel free to scroll down to the beginning of this page back in September of 2020 to start from the beginning and work your way up. With all of those accolades, Henry's been chasing the elusive EGOT. What's an EGOT, you ask? Oh, it's just the Grand Slam of Showbiz Awards. The Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, and the Tony. The Emmy, the Grammy, and the Oscar, Henry has all three of those. It's that elusive Tony Award that's the missing piece to the puzzle. With all those awards and accolades, it's kind of hard to believe that Henry's relationship status is, as you say, complicated. Within months of being here, he met a new and upcoming model by the name of Tatiana at a children's birthday party. Her ride didn't show up to pick her up because it got stuck in the mud, so he offered to give her a ride home in his car, and they have been inseparable ever since. Tatiana would show up to all of his DJing events and concerts to show her support for her man. Oftentimes, Tatiana could not wait for Henry to complete his set so she could take him home and have him all to herself. One time, in an effort to support his girl, Henry offered his girl group as the entertainment for live music during Tatiana's first petite runway show. The fashion show was a complete success. Tatiana helped this new and upcoming fashion designer sell every single last piece of fashion that was showed that night. And at the end of the night, she blew a kiss to Henry, and Henry blew a kiss back to her. Paparazzi caught it on camera, and now their relationship was official in the public. It was around this time that the producers of the Austin movie decided they needed to have a sequel. So they called back some of the old actors from before, including Henry, and added some new and upcoming actors to the lot, and the Austin saga started right back up again. Tatiana was so excited to be going on set with Henry every day to do some of the scenes and to watch him work. One day, while Tatiana was waiting for Henry to finish with hair and makeup, she overheard two of Henry's co-stars, Lexi and Seiko, talking about him. And what she heard pissed her all the way off. She overheard Seiko say that Henry told her one time during one of their lovemaking scenes in a previous movie that he had caught feelings for her. This was not something he had discussed with Tatiana at any time, and that made her mad. So when he walked up on her and tried to kiss her on her neck, she automatically reacted with a nice slap across the face. The slap was so loud that it echoed throughout the entire stage set. So Lexi and Seiko came running to see what the commotion was, and Henry tried to restrain Tatiana, but she kicked him in the balls, making him release her, and she went through Lexi to get to Seiko, and a big fight ensued. With Henry rolling around on the ground in pain, and Lexi knocked completely out by a good swift kick from Tatiana, Tatiana and Seiko really get into a bad fight. However, Seiko being 6 foot, 180 pounds versus Tatiana at 5'2", 100 pounds soaking wet, it was an uneven fight. Was also a trained fighter for her fight scenes, which she did herself in all of her movies, and basically she just thrashed Tatiana all over the place for about a good 5 minutes. Luckily for Tatiana, a nearby stagehand crew member came over and broke up the fight, pulling Seiko off of her, because otherwise she probably would have done something really, really bad. Unfortunately, in the midst of the fight, Lexi, one of the other co-stars, was knocked out and given a nice black eye. Seiko only received a bloody lip for actually biting her own lip, trying to restrain herself a bit. While Tatiana, on the other hand, oof, look at that face. Tatiana tried to run away from the scene, embarrassed about what she had caused. However, when she ran past Henry, he reached up to grab her hand, and she snatched her hand away and disappeared off into the night. This, of course, left both of them brokenhearted. However, Henry now realized that he should have been open and honest with Tatiana from the jump. But you know what they say, when a door closes, a window opens. Where are you choosing to look? Of course, as fate would have it, Henry ran into Seiko at a rose gold party. They spent the evening hanging out, drinking, canoodling, and by the end of the night, things escalated very quickly.
Man, this look pretty good, man. Where your clothes at?
This taking place only a month after the breakup with Tatiana, Henry felt like his heart was finally being mended. After that evening, Henry and Seiko went on to become a celebrity publicity couple, and they spent the next 4 years in a relationship due to the Ashtam saga continuing on, with appearances in both Ashtam 1, Ashtam 2, Ashtam the prequel, Part 1 and Part 2. Okay, now that we've laid the foundation for Henry's life, let's go ahead and get an update on this spectacular character. Now, with the Ashtam saga ending with the prequel Part 2 last October, Henry decided to go off into a different endeavor and start training young DJs to become better at their craft. Henry realizes it's date night for him and Seiko, so he tucks away all of his DJ equipment and rushes over to Tiana's place for a nice, lovely evening with his girl. When Henry arrives at Tiana's place, he is confused because there's absolutely no one there in the restaurant for a change. He guesses that she wanted some privacy, so he's looking forward to a nice evening with his girl and is happy just to see her there, smiling at him. Henry makes his way over to Seiko at her table and notices that she already has a tall glass of wine. They listen to the music for a few moments and imagine how romantic the evening is going to be. He gives her a sweet kiss and realizes that she's not kissing him the way that she used to. She shows him to his seat. Instead of being next to her, it's across on the other side of the table. This is different. This is strange. Henry doesn't like it. As Henry takes his seat, Seiko goes on to explain that she has something very important to discuss with him tonight. Seiko gently reaches out for Henry's hand, just as Tiana walks up with her world-renowned beignets. When Seiko declines the offer of delicious beignets without even consulting Henry, Tiana knows something is up and slowly walks away quietly. As Seiko gently holds Henry's hand, she explains to him that the producers from Austin want to do a spin-off movie around her character, Barracuda. At first, Henry is excited for Seiko until he notices that she's not smiling. She then goes on to explain to him that the producers will be filming the movie in Japan, and she will be there for the next 6 months. Henry immediately knows that this will be the last meal they will share together as a couple, because both of them agreed that long-distance relationships just were not for them. Instead of eating dinner that night, the two agreed upon one last dance to bid each other farewell.
Look how she lights up the sky, my belle Evangeline. So far above me, yet I know her heart belongs to only me. Je t'adore, je t'aime, Evangeline. You're my queen of the night, so still, so bright. The someone is beautiful.
As Seiko and Henry make their way out of Tiana's place, they realize that the paparazzi has been tipped off about their whereabouts. and they pose for them one last time with a smile on their faces, giving the illusion that they are still a couple. After Prince Naveen rushes out of the restaurant to shoo away the paparazzi, Seiko finds it hard to conceal her emotions as she says farewell to Henry and makes her way out down the street. Henry requests for one last kiss goodbye, but Seiko just can't pull herself together enough to do so. And once again, Henry is left brokenhearted.
3 weeks later.
Henry finally answered Skylar's call and accepted her offer to book him solid straight for the next few months in order to help him get over this heartbreak. Which she did, maybe a little too much.
Okay, so today you have recording studio time with Sexy Sulon.
And Sammy's going to be doing the guitar, right?
That's correct. And then you have to go down to the Boys and Girls Club to do the football kickoff for the Fall League.
What time is that?
6 p.m. Oh, and then you have a trunk or treat for the Fall Festival.
What date is that?
The 31st, October 31st, Halloween, trunk or treat, get it?
So I have to decorate my truck.
No, silly, you just have to make a guest appearance. You know, sign autographs, take photos.
That is not what you said in that email.
Yes, I did. Hello, Skylar Blue, how can I help you? Yes. BCI? Yes, we will definitely be there to DJ the Solstice Party on December the 7th. Did you need anything else, sir? I have to go.
You didn't even wait for me to answer.
Skylar makes sure that Henry is booked solid for months on end, including studio session time with various artists that are new and upcoming.
Hey, it's Leo. Sexy, Solon, black American princess. I'm probably posted in the crib lighting incense. Lit bitch, I could get you touched in an instance. If you ain't black, stay the fuck out the business. Bow.
While Henry is enjoying doing what he does best, which is producing music, he has no idea what is going on behind the scenes. It would seem as though his new artist has some ulterior motives, and has a family member who she is trying to make sure gets a chance to visit with Henry. When Tatiana steps around the corner to hand her cousin her purse, she is in shock when she sees who is producing her cousin's music. She isn't exactly sure what to say, but Skylar takes notice of her immediately, and so does Sammy. Tatiana is pissed off with her cousin SS because she feels like this is a setup. Henry tries to shield his eyes away from Tatiana's glare while putting his shades up and watching them talk. Henry putting his shades on does not work on Tatiana. She walks right around that booth and stares right into his eyes and then looks away in disbelief. Before Tatiana can leave, SS, her cousin, grabs her around the neck and whispers into her ear that she knows that she wants to talk to him and stop acting like a baby. SS practically drags Tatiana over to meet the crew. She first introduces her to Henry, of course, who is frozen in shock, while the others just nod and smile. When Tatiana absolutely refuses to talk to Henry, SS takes it upon herself to remove Skylar and Sammy from the booth area and let them two talk quietly, privately. For several minutes, the two just stand there looking in opposite directions, not speaking to each other, not even acknowledging each other's presence. Then, for no reason at all, they both speak simultaneously, saying the same words. I'm sorry. When Tatiana asks Henry why she's saying sorry to her, he explains for not being honest with her about Seiko. When Henry asks Tatiana why she's saying sorry, She explains it was for her overreacting when she found out about him and Seiko. Henry tries to comfort Tatiana by telling her that he had not been intimate with Seiko at that time. When Tatiana hears the term "at that time," she shoots back. So you have been intimate now. Henry decides right then and there to take control of the situation, and he tells Skylar to keep him informed about what time the football game starts, because he's going to have a private conversation with Tatiana, and she agrees, somewhere else, not here in the studio, and the two make their way over to a coffee shop. When Tatiana and Henry arrive at Hannah's Sweet Escape, they're happy to see that it is no one there at all. They find a seat, grab some donuts and some coffee, and get right into the conversation. A very long overdue conversation. Henry talks about how he wished he had have done things different back when he was filming the movie Ashton and just been more open and honest with her about everything going on in his life. But he admits to being embarrassed about the situationship that he had with Seiko at the time and didn't want to ruin his relationship with her by talking about it. Tatiana talks about how much she has missed him over the years and wishes that she had done things differently herself, at least listening to him explain things out before jumping to conclusions and trying to fight his co-star in the movie.
2 hours later.
While Tatiana enjoys her donut, Henry starts getting text messages from Skylar, who is waiting for him at the field to set up the things for the boys' club football game today. Henry asks Tatiana to accompany him, and she declines. When Henry summons Issa, the sweet shop attendant, to bag up their thing, she is happy as a clam when she sees how much of a tip was left on the table. Once outside, Henry offers to give Tatiana a lift back to her apartment, and once again she declines the offer. So instead, she offers a hug, which Henry is elated about. As Tatiana and Henry give each other a hug, he inhales her lavender shampoo that he misses so much, and she inhales his colognes that brings back all good memories. It is very hard for either one of them to let go. As Tatiana and Henry wave their goodbyes and head in opposite directions, Henry wants to check something. For years, Tatiana had him blocked, so he just wants to see if it goes through this time. Tatiana giggles as she reads Henry's text, saying, "It was really good to see you again, and we should do it again sometime soon." Tatiana would love to see Henry again, but she doesn't want to do things too fast, so she simply hearts the message and smiles back at him as she walks away. Henry smiles back at Tatiana and makes a vow to himself that if she brings him back into her life, he will never mess it up again. How is this going to play out for Henry? Stay tuned to find out. And as always, if you have enjoyed what you have seen here today, please remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And if there's a character in my doll stories that you want to see more about, put it in the comments below. See you next time here on At Mama Bear Jenny Dolls.